Venerable Sir, as we navigate through life, we often encounter various challenges, stress, and moments of suffering. Despite our relentless pursuit of happiness and fulfillment through different activities, many of us find ourselves in a circle of dissatisfaction and longing. Can you help us understand what the ultimate truth of life is? What insights can the teaching of the Buddha provide about the nature of our existence, the root causes of our suffering, and the path to transcending these challenges? How can we cultivate a deeper understanding that leads us to true peace and liberation?
Let us reflect on our daily lives, filled with work, relationships, and countless pursuits. We constantly strive to fulfill our desires, to achieve happiness. But what do we experience after this endless effort? Do we find lasting peace, or does something else reveal itself? When we contemplate deeply, we begin to see that despite all our efforts, stress and suffering remain at the core of our existence. We search for joy through physical activities, verbal activities, and mental activities like thoughts. But, my dear brothers and sisters, those efforts often lead us only to fatigue and restlessness. The fleeting moments of pleasure we experience, which we believe to be self-created, quickly disappear, leaving us in the same state of unease we sought to escape. Why is this so? What lies at the root of our suffering? The Lord Buddha taught that the root cause of our suffering is craving. This craving comes in many forms, not just for physical pleasures, but also for mental and emotional fulfillment. We chase after experiences, whether through conversations, events, or achievements, thinking they will satisfy us. Consider this: after a joyous event, such as a party or a heartfelt conversation, we feel excitement, but once it ends, a sense of exhaustion or emptiness follows. This is the nature of craving, constantly pushing us to pursue more, never allowing us to rest in peace. And what is the result? A cycle of endless craving, temporary satisfaction, and the return of stress. The truth, my dear brothers and sisters, is that the pleasure we seek through these activities is always ephemeral. It fades away, leaving behind the very stress we tried to avoid. This is the truth of dukkha, the unsatisfactory nature of existence. How? Then do we address this suffering? How can we transcend this cycle of craving and dissatisfaction? The Lord Buddha's teachings provide us with a clear answer. It is not through more activity or pursuit of fleeting pleasure, but through understanding the true nature of life and ourselves. The first step is to recognize the principle of non-self, Anatta. We are often bound by the belief in a permanent, unchanging self, soul. But this is an illusion. Our identity, our sense of I and mine is a construct of our mind. When we let go of this attachment to self, much of our suffering dissolves. To truly transcend suffering, we must also cultivate enlightened thoughts rooted in the understanding of impermanence, anicca, and suffering, dukkha. These thoughts help us see clearly, reducing the craving that arises from ignorance. Alongside this, we must live ethically. The Lord Buddha emphasized the importance of ethical conduct as a foundation for overcoming suffering. This includes avoiding harmful actions, abstaining from killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, lying, and the use of intoxicants. When we live ethically, we reduce the suffering caused by our actions and bring more peace to ourselves and others. Another essential practice is mindfulness. The constant awareness of our body, sensation, thoughts, and emotions. When we observe our experience without attachment, without identifying with it, we begin to see the true nature of existence. We are no longer caught in the illusion of permanent self. Instead, we become witnesses to the ever-changing flow of life. This mindfulness protects us from falling into the delusion of permanence and frees us from unnecessary stress. And finally, through meditation, particularly the cultivation of jhana, deep concentration states, we can directly experience a cessation of stress. Meditation allows the mind to become still, clear, and undisturbed by the endless chatter of thoughts. In this stillness, we gain insight into the ultimate truth of life and the nature of suffering. All these teachings culminate in the Noble Eightfold Path, the Lord Buddha's prescription for liberation from suffering. The path consists of right understanding, the comprehension of the Four Noble Truths and the reality of suffering, right intentions, developing thoughts of renunciation, compassion, and non-harm, right speech, speaking truthful, kindly, and with purpose, right action, acting in ways that are ethical and beneficial, avoiding harm, right livelihood, engaging in work that does not bring harm to others, right effort, making a diligent effort to cultivate wholesome mental states and abandon unwholesome ones, right mindfulness, being fully aware in very moment, observing life as it unfolds, right concentration, deepening our meditation to reach profound states of mental clarity and insight. When we walk this path step by step, we purify our mind, our actions, and our heart. The burdens of craving, stress, and suffering slowly fall away. We begin to experience life not through the lens of attachment, but with wisdom and compassion. The ultimate truth of life is not found in the endless pursuit of more experiences, which only leads to more stress and exhaustion. Instead, it is found in letting go of craving, understanding the nature of non-self, and living ethically and mindfully. By embracing these teachings of the Lord Buddha, we can transcend suffering and discover the profound peace and contentment that lie beyond the delusion of self. May we all strive on this path with diligence and wisdom. May we come to realize the ultimate truth of life and free ourselves from the bounds of suffering. May we all attain Nibbana in this very life.